Ext, Grand Manor, night. A chill wind whistles through a crack in the window, stirring a heavy velvet curtain. The room is opulent, but a sense of decay hangs in the air like old perfume. Zima, whispering to herself. So, this is it. The gilded cage. The beginning of the end, or the beginning of my beginning. A long silence. Zima. Louder, a wry chuckle. They say I'm weak. They say I'm naive. The poor little rich girl, destined to be tossed aside for the true heir. How utterly predictable. Another beat of silence. Zima. A sudden, sharp tone. No, not this time. This isn't their story anymore. It's mine, and I rewrite endings. A soft tap at the door. Zima. Composed, voice smooth. Enter. The door swings open. A thin, nervous maid, Alara, stands in the frame, clutching a silver tray with a steaming teacup. Alara. Mistress Zima, your evening tea. As you requested. Zima. Ah, Alara, always so prompt. Come in, don't hover. The night air carries a bite. Alara steps inside, placing the tray on a small, inlaid table beside Zima's armchair. Her eyes dart around the room, avoiding Zima's gaze. Alara. Thank you, mistress. Is there anything else you require? Zima. Picking up the teacup, inhaling the steam. Only your honesty, Alara. A rare commodity in this house, wouldn't you agree? Alara's hands ring together. Alara. Mistress, I don't understand. Zima. Don't you? Or do you simply choose not to? Tell me, Alara, what have you heard? About the family. About me. Alara. Voice barely a whisper. Mistress, it's not my place to speak of such things. Zima. A cold, sweet smile. But it is your place to listen. And to observe. And right now, it's your place to tell me. Don't worry, I value discretion. And loyalty. Alara takes a shaky breath. Alara. They say you've been different, mistress. Ever since the fever. More, focused, less, timid. Zima. Sipping her tea, eyes piercing. And what else? What do they say about my impending engagement? To Lord Kale, the one my father arranged to secure his own position, despite Lord Kale's notorious cruelty. Alara. Gasping softly. Mistress, you know. Zima. A dark laugh. I know everything, Alara. More than you could possibly imagine. I know the fate they have planned for me. The suffering. The humiliation. The convenient accident that will pave the way for the beloved, adopted daughter, Serafina. Alara's face drains of color. Alara. Serafina. She's coming back soon, isn't she? From the academy. Zima. Indeed. The prodigal daughter, returning to claim her rightful place. A place that was never hers to begin with. Tell me, Alara, do you like Serafina? Alara. She's kind. To the staff. More so than. Zima. Finishing her sentence. Then my mother. Then my father. Then my esteemed older brother, Valerius. Yes, I know. They adore her. She's the perfect little doll. The one they truly wanted. Zima. Setting down the teacup with a clink. But dolls can break, Alara. And sometimes, they can break back. Alara. Mistress Zima, what are you planning? Your words, they frighten me. Zima. They should. For them, at least. You, Alara, have a choice. Remain silent and risk being swept away in the tide. Or choose a side. My side. Alara. Her eyes wide, trembling. Your side. But, against your own family. Zima. Standing, her shadow looming. They stopped being my family the moment they decided my life was expendable. They signed their own death warrants then. Now, I merely execute the sentence. Do you understand, Alara? Alara. Nodding frantically. Yes, mistress. I understand. Zima. Good. Then listen carefully. Our first target is father. He believes himself untouchable, doesn't he? A man of power, of influence. But even the mightiest oak has roots that can be severed. Alara. How? He's always surrounded by guards, and mother never lets him out of her sight. Zima. A glint in her eye. Ah, mother. Her possessiveness will be her undoing. She believes she controls him. She believes she controls everything. But she is merely a pawn in a game she doesn't even realize is being played. Zima. Pacing slowly. Father has a weakness, a secret, one he keeps hidden even from mother. A mistress, a small, discreet cottage on the outskirts of the estate, and a ledger, a very incriminating ledger. Alara. A ledger. Zima. Yes, detailing all his illicit dealings, the bribes, the embezzlements, the falsified accounts, the very things that would bring his empire crashing down. He keeps it with his mistress, a foolish man, trusting a woman he only sees for pleasure. Alara. But how do we get it? Zima. Smiling, a predatory curve of her lips. You, Alara, will deliver a message to the mistress, a fabricated note from my father, stating he's coming to her tonight, and she should have his private documents ready. He's a creature of habit. He'll expect her to read between the lines. Alara. And then, Zima. Then, I will pay her a visit. Not as Zima, the dutiful daughter, but as a shadow, and I will retrieve what is mine. Alara. Swallowing hard. And the mistress. Zima. A shrug. She will be indisposed. A tragic accident. These things happen, don't they? Especially in the dead of night. Alara. Her voice barely audible. Yes, mistress. Zima. Stepping closer to Alara, a hand on her shoulder. Fear not, Alara. You are merely the messenger. Your hands will remain clean. For now. Now, go. The night is young, and we have much to accomplish. Alara bows deeply, then hurries out of the room, leaving Zima alone in the opulent silence. Zima. To the empty room. Father, dear father, your reign of terror ends tonight. Fade to black. Int. Lord Valerius's study. Night. The air is thick with the smell of old books and expensive brandy. Lord Valerius, Zima's older brother, sits hunched over a desk, a half-empty decanter beside him. He's muttering to himself. Valerius. Slurring. Always the favorite. Always the golden child. While I toil away, keeping this crumbling empire afloat. And now, father wants to marry her off to Kale. Kale, the brute. A soft knock at the door. Valerius grunts. Valerius. Enter. Unless you're another one of mother's spies. The door opens, revealing Zima, dressed in a simple, dark gown. She carries a single, wilting rose. Zima. Brother. Still burning the midnight oil. Or is it the midnight brandy? Valerius. Looking up, annoyance in his eyes. Zima. What do you want? Shouldn't you be dreaming of Lord Kale's charming embrace? Zima. A sad smile. Hardly. I came to check on you. You seem troubled. Valerius. Scoffs. Troubled. I'm drowning. Zima. Drowning in father's debts, mother's expectations, and your endless fragility. Zima. Walking closer, placing the rose on his desk. I understand, brother. Truly. You've always carried the weight of the world on your shoulders, while I was just the burden. Valerius. His expression softening slightly. Don't be dramatic, Zima. You're not a burden. Just delicate. Zima. Her eyes welling up, perfectly timed. Delicate. Yes, like this rose. Easily crushed. I heard father discussing the Kale merger again today. He seemed particularly pleased. Valerius. His jaw clenching. Of course he was. It secures his legacy. At your expense. And mine, if I'm honest. Kale's demands are unreasonable. Zima. Voice trembling. He said he wouldn't care if I died in childbirth, as long as the alliance was sealed. He said I was merely a means to an end. Valerius slams his fist on the desk, rattling the decanter. Valerius. The old fool. He's gone too far this time. Sacrificing his own blood for what? More power. More gold. Zima. Reaching out, touching his arm. He's always been like this, hasn't he? Always putting his ambition above us. Above family. Valerius. Staring at her, a flicker of something dark in his eyes. He's a monster, and mother enables him. They're two sides of the same rotten coin. Zima. Leaning in conspiratorially. What if there was another way, Valerius? A way to free ourselves from their tyranny. To take what is rightfully ours. Valerius. His breath catching. What are you suggesting? Zima. You're speaking treason. Zima. Pulling back, feigning innocence. Am I? Or am I speaking truth? You're the one who bears the true weight of this family, brother. You're the one who should be in charge, not him, not with his questionable dealings. Valerius, looking away, then back at her, a desperate glint. What dealings? What do you know? Zima, smiling sadly, only what I've overheard, whispers, of a ledger, of secrets that could ruin him, and us, unless those secrets were to disappear, along with the one who keeps them. Valerius stares at her, a slow understanding dawning in his eyes. He picks up the wilting rose, its petals soft against his fingers. Valerius, softly, you've changed, Zima, Zima, her smile unwavering. Perhaps I've simply grown tired of being delicate. What do you say, brother? Will you stand by and watch us all be crushed? Or will you help me prune the dead wood? Valerius looks at the brandy, then at the rose, then at his sister. A new kind of ambition, cold and calculating, replaces the drunken self-pity in his gaze. Valerius, a low, dangerous voice. Tell me more about this ledger. And this other way. Zima, her eyes sparkling with triumph. Patience, brother, all in good time. First, we secure our inheritance. Then, we deal with the rest. Fade to black. Int. Zima's bedroom, late night. Zima stands before a full-length mirror, her reflection a stark contrast to the innocent girl she pretends to be. She's dressed in a form-fitting black outfit, practical and silent. Zima, to her reflection, the first step is always the hardest. The first kill, but it won't be a kill, not really. More like an intervention, a necessary pruning. A shadow falls across the mirror as Alara enters, her face pale. Alara, mistress, I delivered the note. She seemed delighted, and she confirmed the ledger is there. She keeps it hidden beneath a loose floorboard by her bed. Zima, turning, a ghost of a smile. Excellent, Alara, your loyalty will be richly rewarded. Now, for the final touch. The tea. Alara holds out a small vial of clear liquid. Alara, the sleeping draught, potent enough to ensure she won't stir, and untraceable. Zima, taking the vial. Perfect. A peaceful slumber, then. She won't feel a thing. Father, however, will feel everything. The loss of his secrets. The loss of his power. Alara, mistress, are you sure about this? Once it's done, there's no going back. Zima, her voice flat, devoid of emotion. There was never any going back for me, Alara. Not after what I saw. Not after what they planned. This is merely self-preservation. And justice. Now, open the window. We need to make it look like an intruder. Alara moves to the window, her hands trembling as she unlatches it. The night air rushes in, cold and damp. Zima, slipping out into the night. Wish me luck, Alara. Though, I don't believe in luck. Only in meticulously executed plans. Alara watches her disappear into the darkness. Fade to black. Int. Grand manor. Morning. The house is in an uproar. Shouts echo through the halls. Lord Valerius stands in the grand foyer, his face a mask of shock and feigned grief. Lady Anna, Zima's mother, sobs dramatically into a lace handkerchief. Anna, wailing, my poor husband, my poor, unsuspecting darling, robbed, murdered, who could have done such a monstrous thing? Valerius, to a grizzled head guard, are you telling me you found nothing? No sign of forced entry, no witnesses, head guard, only the open window in the mistress's cottage, my lord, and the tea, half drunk. It looks like a robbery gone wrong. She must have woken up. Anna, sniffling, and the ledger, his precious ledger, gone. He always said it was vitally important. Valerius, feigning anger, this is an outrage. Find the culprit, scour the countryside. I want answers. Zima descends the grand staircase, her eyes wide with feigned distress. She's dressed in a simple black morning dress. Zima, softly, what is happening? I heard the commotion. Father is dead. Anna, rushing to embrace Zima, a theatrical display. My poor child, your father, gone, taken from us by a cruel hand. Zima, allowing herself to be embraced, a shiver running through her. But, why? Who would do such a thing? Valerius, stepping forward, a hand on Zima's shoulder. A thief, sister, a common thief. But they took more than just coin. They took the ledger, the one that detailed all of father's business arrangements. Zima, her voice barely a whisper. The ledger, the one he kept so secret. Oh, Valerius, this is terrible. What will happen to the company? To us, Valerius. A grim expression. We will survive, Zima. We always do. But it means the Kale merger is off. Without father's backing in the ledger, Lord Kale will withdraw his offer. Anna, pulling away from Zima, her wails turning to indignation. Off, but his alliance was our salvation. Without it, we're ruined. Valerius, looking pointedly at Zima, not entirely, mother. Father had other assets, hidden assets, and now, as the eldest son, I will assume control. I will ensure our family's future. Anna, skeptical, but you're so impulsive. Your father always said you lacked his shrewdness. Valerius, his voice hardening. Father is dead, mother. His opinions died with him. Now, we must look to the living. And I am the living head of this household. Zima, stepping back slightly, a small, knowing smile playing on her lips. Yes, mother, Valerius is right. He's always been so strong, so capable. He will protect us. Anna looks from Valerius to Zima, a flicker of suspicion in her eyes, then back to Valerius, who now stands taller, his shoulders broader. The balance of power has shifted. Anna, reluctantly, very well, but you must find who did this. Avenge your father, Valerius. A dark promise in his voice. Oh, I will, mother. I most certainly will. Fade to black. Int. Valerius's study, night. Valerius sits at his father's old desk, the very same one he'd been hunched over just days before. He sips from a glass of brandy, but this time, his movements are sharp, confident. Zima enters, carrying a small, leather-bound book. Zima, placing the ledger on the desk. As promised, brother, the complete works of our dear departed father, and a few notes of my own. Valerius, picking up the ledger, his eyes scanning the pages. Incredible, the sheer audacity of the man. He was bleeding us dry, and these are worse than I imagined. He was practically a criminal mastermind. Zima, leaning against the desk, he was, and now, you hold the keys to his kingdom, and his downfall. Valerius, looking up, a triumphant gleam in his eyes. This changes everything. I can use this to leverage power, to consolidate our assets. I can rebuild this family, stronger than ever. Zima, a slight tilt of her head. Indeed, but what about mother? She still clings to the past. To father's memory, she might prove difficult. Valerius, scoffs. Mother is a creature of comfort. Once she realizes her comforts are secured, she'll fall in line. Besides, she's always been obsessed with appearances. The grieving widow, the pillar of society. She wouldn't dare jeopardize that. Zima, a thoughtful hum, perhaps, but she also harbors a deep resentment towards you. For not being father, for not being her ideal. Valerius, slamming the ledger shut. That's her problem, not mine. I'm through playing the second fiddle. This is my house now. My rules. Zima, smiling sweetly. Of course, brother, and I am here to support you. Fully, utterly. Valerius, looking at her, a strange mix of suspicion and admiration. You truly are different, Zima. That fever, it changed you. For the better, it seems. Zima, a small, self-deprecating laugh. Perhaps, or perhaps I simply realized that clinging to weakness was a luxury I could no longer afford. Especially with Serafina returning soon. Valerius, his expression clouding. Ah, Serafina, the darling of the household. Mother will be overjoyed. She always preferred her to us, didn't she? Zima, nodding. She did. Serafina, the perfect, unblemished flower. The one who could do no wrong. While we, the true children, were always found wanting. Valerius, a bitter laugh. She even tried to set Serafina up with Lord Kale before father intervened. Imagine that. The adopted girl, marrying into power, while you were just a political pawn. Zima, her eyes flashing with a cold fire. Yes, imagine. But now, that particular future has been averted. And Serafina's return might not be the joyous occasion mother anticipates. Valerius, leaning back in his chair, a cruel smile spreading across his face. No, I imagine it won't be. Tell me, sister, what do you have in mind for our beloved adopted sibling? Zima. A slow, deliberate smile. Serafina, dear Serafina, has always had a knack for attracting trouble. And sometimes, trouble finds its way to those who least expect it. Don't you agree, Valerius? Chuckling darkly. I do. A most intriguing thought, Zima. A most intriguing thought indeed. Fade to black. Int. Lady Anna's boudoir. Day. The room is suffocatingly ornate, filled with silks and perfumes. Lady Anna is having her hair dressed by a frivolous maid, but her attention is on a letter in her hand. Anna. To herself, angrily. That ungrateful wretch. How dare he cancel the engagement? Lord Kale will rue the day he crosses my family. The door opens and Zima enters, a soft, concerned expression on her face. Zima. Mother, are you all right? I heard your voice. Anna. Snapping. All right. How can I be all right, Zima? Your brother, that imbecile, has ruined everything. Kale has withdrawn, all because of your father's unfortunate incident. Zima. Sitting beside her, taking her hand. I know, mother, it's a terrible blow, but Valerius is doing his best. He's trying to stabilize things. Anna. Pulling her hand away. Stabilize. He's floundering. He has no idea how to run this estate. Your father was the only one with any sense. Zima. Her voice gentle, persuasive. Perhaps, but Valerius has ambition, and he has the ledger now. He's been poring over it, finding ways to leverage father's connections. Anna. Sniffing. Connections. He means his sordid little secrets. Your father was a businessman, not a common thug. Zima. Sighing. Mother, we both know father had his unconventional methods, but Valerius is using them to our advantage. He's already secured several new investments, and he's cutting out the dead weight. Anna. Her eyes narrowing. Dead weight. What do you mean? Zima. Leaning in, whispering. He's planning to downsize the staff, consolidate resources, even sell off some of the less profitable properties. He says it's for our long-term survival. Anna. Gasping. Sell off the properties. This is an outrage. Our heritage. He's destroying everything. Zima. Shrugging sadly. He believes it's necessary, and he has a ledger, mother. He has all the proof he needs that father's methods were unsustainable. He even said he found evidence that father was planning to disinherit you. Anna's face contorts in fury. Anna. Disinherit me, his loyal wife, the mother of his children. That's a lie. Zima. Eyes wide, feigning innocence. I only heard fragments, mother, but he seemed very convinced. He said father was planning to leave everything to Serafina. Anna goes rigid. The frivolous maid, who had been silently styling her hair, drops a comb with a clatter. Anna. A low, dangerous growl. Serafina. That adopted cuckoo. He would choose her over his own blood. Over me. Zima. Shaking her head. I don't know, mother. But Valerius seemed to think so. He said he found documents hidden in a secret compartment. Plans to transfer assets. Anna rises, her eyes blazing with a cold, terrifying anger. Anna. To the maid. Leave us. Now. The maid scurries out, terrified. Anna turns to Zima, her hands clenched into fists. Anna. Voice trembling with rage. He would betray me. For that ingrate. And Valerius knew. And he's doing nothing. Zima. Looking down, as if ashamed. He said he couldn't fight father's will. Not without proof. But now he has a ledger. And he's using it to secure his position. And he believes you are an obstacle to his vision. Anna. A venomous hiss. An obstacle. I am the matriarch of this family. I built this empire alongside that traitor. Zima. Softly. He said he found proof that you were diverting funds for your own personal projects, and that father was furious. Anna stumbles back, clutching her chest. The accusation hits her hard. Anna. Stuttering. That's a lie. He's trying to discredit me, to take everything. Zima. Looking up, her eyes hard and cold. Perhaps he's simply securing his future, and yours if you align with him. But if you fight him, mother, if you fight him, he might just expose everything. Anna stares at Zima, her face a mixture of fear and fury. The idea of being disinherited, of being exposed, is a fate worse than death for her. Anna. A desperate whisper. What do you suggest, Zima? What can I do? Zima. A small, triumphant smile, quickly hidden. You could remove the obstacle, mother. Before it removes you. Valerius has been under immense stress. He's been drinking heavily. He barely sleeps. He's becoming reckless. Anna. Her eyes glinting with a dangerous light. Reckless. Zima. Nodding. He often takes long, solitary rides through the forest at night. To clear his head, he says. Without his usual guards. He's a creature of habit. Anna looks out the window, a dark thought forming in her mind. Anna. A chillingly calm voice. A tragic accident, then. Such a shame. 2 sons, gone too soon. Zima. Standing, her mission accomplished. Indeed, mother. A true tragedy, but sometimes tragedy paves the way for new beginnings. For those who are strong enough to seize them. Anna turns, her gaze meeting Zima's. For a moment, a shared understanding, dark and terrible, passes between them. Anna. A faint, chilling smile. Yes, Zima. New beginnings. Fade to black. Int. Grand manor. Night. The wind howls outside. Rain lashes against the windows. The manor is quiet, save for the occasional creak of old wood. Zima sits in the drawing room, a book open on her lap, but her eyes are fixed on the flickering fire. A frantic knock at the door. Alara rushes in, soaking wet, her hair plastered to her face. Alara. Mistress Zima. A terrible accident. Zima. Calmly, without looking up. Oh, do tell, Alara, what fresh tragedy has befallen our noble house? Alara. Lord Valerius. His horse returned without him. They found him in the forest. His neck broken. They say he must have fallen. Zima. A sigh, faint sadness. How dreadful. My poor brother. So young, so full of potential. Alara. Lady Anna is distraught. She's screaming, tearing at her hair. She keeps repeating, my son. My beautiful son. Zima. A dry chuckle. The depths of a mother's grief. Alara. Truly touching. But tell me, did they find anything else? Any evidence of foul play? Alara. No, mistress. Just his riding cloak, snagged on a branch. And the tracks of his horse. The ground was slick with rain. A clear accident, they say. Zima. Closing her book, finally looking at Alara, a cold satisfaction in her eyes. Of course, a clear accident. These things happen, especially to men who ride alone in the dark, consumed by their own thoughts. Alara. But, Lady Anna, she's inconsolable. She said she wishes she had never listened to anyone. Zima. Standing, walking to the window. Regret is a bitter companion, Alara. One she will have to learn to live with. Or not. Alara. What do you mean, mistress? Zima. Turning, a predatory gleam in her eyes. Tell me, Alara, has Serafina arrived yet? I believe her carriage was due to reach the estate by morning. Alara. Yes, mistress. She arrived just before the news of Lord Valerius. She's in her room, resting. She looks so tired. Zima. A dangerous smile. Tired, yes, but soon she will be well rested and ready to take her place. The place mother always intended for her. Alara. Confused. But, with Lord Valerius gone, who will run the estate? Lady Anna is too grief-stricken. Zima. Walking towards the door. Precisely. The stage is set, Alara. The final act begins. Now, go and prepare a welcome for Serafina. A very special welcome. Alara. Hesitantly. What kind of welcome, mistress? Zima. Her voice like silk, but with an edge of steel. One she will never forget. One that will ensure she never leaves. Not alive, at least. Alara shivers, but bows and exits. Zima remains, a lone figure in the grand, empty drawing room. Zima. To the silence. Soon, Serafina. Soon, you will understand the true cost of being the favored one. Fade to black. Int. Lady Anna's bedroom. Day. Lady Anna lies in her bed, a crumpled heap of grief and rage. Her eyes are red-rimmed, her face streaked with tears. Zima sits beside her, holding her hand. Zima. Softly. Mother, you must eat something. You'll make yourself ill. Anna. pulling her hand away, weakly. Leave me be, Zima. I have no appetite. My sons, both gone. What have I done, Zima? Her voice filled with false sympathy. You've done nothing, mother. These were tragic accidents. Fate, perhaps, or the cruel hand of destiny. Anna. Her voice rising, hoarse. No, it was me. I wished for Valerius to take control. I wished for him to remove his father. And now he's gone too. It's my fault. Zima. Patting her hand gently. Nonsense, mother. You merely expressed a desire for justice. For what was rightfully yours. Valerius was simply unlucky. Anna. Wailing. Unlucky. Are cursed. This house is cursed. And now Serafina is here. That girl. She always brings trouble. Zima. A subtle shift in her tone. Did she, mother, or did she simply attract attention? The kind of attention that makes others feel inadequate. Anna. Her eyes flashing with old resentment. She always did. Always smiling. Always so perfect. Your father adored her. Even Valerius was smitten. She stole their affections from us. Zima. Leaning in, her voice a seductive whisper. And now, with both of them gone, who do you think she'll turn to, mother? Who will she charm next? Who will she try to usurp? Anna's eyes widen, a new fear replacing her grief. Anna. A terrified. Whisper. No, she wouldn't. She couldn't. Zima. Shrugging. Why not? She's always been manipulative, hasn't she? Playing the innocent, while subtly undermining everyone around her. She wants this house, mother. She wants your position. Anna. Sitting up, her grief momentarily forgotten, replaced by cold fury. My position, over my dead body. I am the lady of this manor. I will not be replaced by some adopted stray. Zima. A triumphant glint in her eye. Exactly, mother. You are strong. You are the rightful matriarch. But Serafina will not go quietly. She will fight you. She will charm the staff, sway the relatives, turn everyone against you. Anna. Her hands clenching the bedsheets. I won't let her. I won't. Zima. Softly, as if offering a gentle solution. Then you must act, mother. Before she does, she has always been fragile. A delicate flower, easily bruised. Anna. Her gaze fixed on Zima, a desperate plea. What are you saying, Zima? Zima. A sweet, innocent smile. Only that accidents happen, mother. Especially to those who are unaccustomed to the harsh realities of life. Perhaps, a sudden illness. A tragic fall down the stairs. Anna stares at her daughter, her breath catching. The idea, once unthinkable, now seems a logical, even necessary, step. Anna. A low, calculating voice. An illness, you say. What kind of illness? Zima. Standing, walking to the vanity table, picking up a silver hairbrush. Something quick, something painless, something that leaves no trace. A tea, perhaps, a special blend for her delicate constitution. Anna. Her eyes gleaming with a terrible resolve. Yes, a special tea, for my dear, sweet Serafina. Zima. Turning, a chilling smile on her face. Excellent, mother. I knew you would understand. Now, let's go and welcome her properly, shall we? As the true ladies of this house. Fade to black. Int. Dining hall. Evening. The grand dining hall, usually a place of boisterous meals, is eerily quiet. Lady Anna sits at the head of the long table, her face stern, composed. Zima sits opposite her, a serene expression on her face. Serafina, a beautiful young woman with an air of innocence, sits between them, looking uncomfortable. Alara stands by the sideboard, her face pale and drawn. Serafina. Softly. Lady Anna. Zima, I am so sorry for your losses. Lord Valerius was always so kind to me. Anna. Coldly. He was. A good boy, unlike some. Zima. Placing a comforting hand on Serafina's arm. Don't mind mother, Serafina. She's still grieving. We all are, but we're glad you're here. Your presence brings a certain comfort. Serafina. A faint smile. Thank you, Zima. I always considered this my home. Anna. Snorting. Indeed. A home you were welcomed into out of the kindness of our hearts. A kindness that, it seems, was sorely misplaced. Zima. A sharp glance at her mother. Mother, please. Serafina is our guest. Anna. Ignoring Zima. You always had a way of charming your way into people's affections, didn't you, girl? Even my husband's. Serafina's eyes widen, hurt flashing in them. Serafina. Lady Anna, I don't understand. I never sought to. Anna. Slamming her hand on the table. Don't lie to me. I know what you are. A scheming little viper, waiting for your chance to strike. You tried to steal my husband, you tried to steal my son's affection, and now you're here to steal my position. Serafina. Tears welling in her eyes. That's not true. I loved Lord Valerius like a brother. And your husband, he was like a father to me. Zima. A sweet, deceptive tone. Of course, Serafina, we all know how much you adored them. So much so, you'd do anything for them, wouldn't you? Even accept a special tea, prepared just for you, to soothe your delicate nerves after your long journey. Alara approaches with a silver tray, holding a single, steaming teacup. Her hands are shaking visibly. Serafina. Looking at the tea, then at Anna's furious face, then at Zima's unnervingly calm smile. A special tea. I don't feel particularly nervous. Anna. Her voice trembling with barely suppressed rage. Drink it, girl. It's a welcome gift. Or do you refuse the hospitality of this house? Serafina hesitates, her gaze flicking between the two women. The air is thick with unspoken threat. Zima. Her smile widening, her eyes cold. It's a rare blend, Serafina. From mother's private stores, full of natural calming herbs. It will help you rest. Serafina slowly reaches for the teacup. Her fingers brush Alara's, and Alara flinches, almost dropping the tray. Serafina. Taking the cup. Thank you. She raises the cup to her lips, but hesitates again, catching a fleeting look of terror in Alara's eyes. Serafina. Lowering the cup slightly. It smells unusually strong. Anna. Impatiently. It's a strong brew. Now drink. Zima. A subtle shake of her head, a warning to Anna. Mother, let her take her time. No need to rush. Serafina looks at the tea, then back at Zima. A flicker of suspicion crosses her face. Serafina. A sudden, sharp question. Alara, did you prepare this tea? Alara. Her voice a terrified squeak. Yes, Mistress Serafina. As instructed. Serafina. Looking directly at Zima, her voice gaining strength. And what, exactly, were the instructions? A specific blend, or a specific additive? Anna gasps. Zima's smile falters for a fraction of a second. Zima. Laughing lightly. Serafina, darling, what a strange question. It's just mother's calming blend. You're being paranoid. Serafina. Setting the cup down with a deliberate clink. Am I? Or are you simply underestimating me? I've seen enough of this family's machinations to know when something is amiss. Especially when the maid looks like she's about to faint. Alara lets out a small whimper. Anna. Her face contorted with fury. You insolent girl. How dare you accuse us? Serafina. Standing, her gaze unwavering as she looks at Zima. I accuse no one, but I will not drink this tea. And I will not be silent about the strange accidents that have befallen this house since I left. Zima. Her voice dropping, losing its sweetness. And what exactly do you mean by that, Serafina? Serafina. Her eyes flashing with a new, fierce resolve. I mean that Lord Valerius wrote to me. Before he died, he spoke of his suspicions. Of father's strange death. Of your sudden change, Zima. He feared for his life. And for yours. Anna looks from Serafina to Zima, a dawning horror in her eyes. Anna. Stuttering. Valerius wrote to you. Serafina. Nodding. He suspected a conspiracy. He was gathering proof. And he warned me to be careful when I returned. He said you were no longer the Zima he knew. Zima's face hardens, her mask finally slipping. The polite, sweet girl is gone, replaced by something cold and dangerous. Zima. A low, chilling voice. He should have kept his suspicions to himself. And you, Serafina, should have heeded his warning. Anna. Her voice a terrified whisper, looking at Zima. Zima, what have you done? Zima. Ignoring her mother, her eyes locked on Serafina. I merely ensured my survival, Serafina. The survival of the true heir. This house was never meant for you. Serafina. Standing tall, despite the fear in her eyes. And you think you can simply eliminate everyone who stands in your way. You think you can get away with murder, Zima? A cruel, triumphant smile. I already have, twice, and now you will be the third. A final, tragic accident. How wonderfully poetic. Anna lets out a strangled cry. Alara collapses against the sideboard. Serafina, her voice shaking, but resolute. You won't get away with this, Zima. Valerius sent his letters to others. To Lord Kale, to the authorities. They know. Zima's eyes widen, a flicker of genuine shock crossing her face. Zima, a sharp, disbelieving laugh. He wouldn't, he couldn't have. Serafina, a small, defiant smile. Oh, but he did. He was smarter than you gave him credit for. And now, your little game is over. A sudden, loud bang from outside. Footsteps rushing towards the dining hall. Anna, screaming. Guards, guards, arrest her, arrest Zima. She's a monster. Zima whirls around, her face a mask of fury and desperation. She looks at Alara, who is now openly weeping. Zima, to Alara, a desperate command. The secret passage. Now, Alara, despite her terror, points a trembling finger towards a hidden panel behind a tapestry. The doors to the dining hall burst open. Several guards rush in, led by a stern-faced captain. Lord Kale, his face grim, follows behind them. Captain, Zima, you are under arrest for the murders of Lord Alaric and Lord Valerius. Zima glances at the guards, then at Serafina, a venomous hatred in her eyes. She darts towards the tapestry. Lord Kale, to the guards, stop her, don't let her escape. Zima rips aside the tapestry, revealing a dark, narrow opening. She slips inside, just as the guards surge forward. Captain, to Serafina, are you all right, Lady Serafina? Serafina, nodding, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Yes, just, barely. Anna is still screaming, pointing wildly at the now empty space behind the tapestry. Anna, she's a demon, a monster, she killed them all. Lord Kale looks at Serafina, then at the frantic Lady Anna, a deep understanding in his eyes. He turns to the captain. Lord Kale, find her, bring her back, she will answer for her crimes. Fade to black, int, underground passage, night. Zima scrambles through the narrow, dust-filled passage. The air is stale, heavy. Her breath comes in ragged gasps. She can hear the distant shouts of the guards, their footsteps echoing through the hidden tunnels. Zima, to herself, a desperate whisper. No, not like this. I won't go back. I won't suffer their judgment. She reaches a dead end, a solid stone wall. She pounds on it frantically. Zima, frustrated growl. There has to be another way. This can't be the end. A small, almost imperceptible click. A section of the wall slides inward, revealing a tiny, dark crawl space. Zima hesitates for a moment, then squeezes through, pulling the panel shut behind her. The space is cramped, suffocating. Zima can barely move. She hears the guards outside, their voices getting closer. Guard 1 OS. She went this way. I heard something. Guard 2 OS. Check every inch. She can't have vanished. Zima presses herself against the cold stone, her heart pounding in her chest. The fear, the raw, visceral fear she had suppressed for so long, now threatens to overwhelm her. Zima, whispering to herself, I was supposed to win. I was supposed to rewrite the story. Not this. She closes her eyes, tears pricking at them. The sounds of the guards fade slightly, moving past her hiding place. A temporary reprieve. Zima, a bitter laugh, devoid of humor. The comedy of it all. To escape one fate, only to stumble into another. But I will not be caught. I will not be broken. She feels around in the darkness, her fingers brushing against something smooth, cold. A small, ornate dagger. Valerius's dagger, the one he always carried. Zima, a cold smile, visible even in the darkness. So, brother, even in death, you offer a final tool. Perhaps, a final escape. She holds the dagger, its hilt rough against her palm. Her mind races, calculating. There's no way out of this passage. No other exit. But there is a way out of their grasp. Zima, a determined, chilling whisper. They won't get their satisfaction. They won't see me suffer. This body, this life, it belongs to me. And I will decide its end. The sounds of the guards are returning, closer now. They are searching systematically. They will find her. Zima, a final, defiant breath. Let them look. Let them search. They will find nothing but echoes. A faint, almost inaudible shick. A gasp. And then, silence. The guards' footsteps grow louder, closer, until they reach the stone wall where Zima had hidden. Captain OS, she's in here. I heard her. The stone panel slides open. The guards peer into the darkness. Guard 1 OS, nothing, just a dagger, and a horrified gasp. Captain OS, find her body, and seal this passage. Let no one else ever enter this place. The monster is gone. The sounds of movement, of hushed whispers, of a final, terrible silence. The wind whistles again, a lonely lament through the grand, now empty, manor. Fade to black.